Hello, I'm Rico Cavella, and I want to welcome you to this episode of the new Fearless Aging podcast. For the past 3 years, we've done 255 episodes, and I've interviewed top wellness experts and professionals in all aspects of mind, body, and spiritual wellness. But in the last, say, 4 or 5 months, we turned the Fearless Aging Show into a TV show, and it's now streamed on all the major streaming channels, and you can also see it on e360tv.com. And our show airs at 6 o'clock uh, p.m. Pacific time on on Wednesday, so you can catch that our TV show on streaming channels. Okay, so then I was wondering what should I do with my Fearless Aging podcast? So I've teamed up with I have a new co-host now. His name is John Jew, and so we're going to focus on elder health and wealth, how we can improve elders' health and wealth. That's such a critical issue these days. And so we're going to form a movement. We're going to support and educate, inspire, and empower our elder population so they can become much healthier, both physically and financially. And so, in this first show, our new podcast, we're going to talk about our movement, what it's all about, why it's so important, and how you can get involved. And before I introduce John, I want to say, how we met. I'm not sure now, but someone told me that he knew John and he knew me. He says, "You guys should really hook up because you really have a lot in common." So I said, "Sure." So we met online and we just immediately had a very great connection. And I found John to be such an energetic and inspired health advocate that I was really impressed. And I want to give John the credit for actually coming up with this idea to start this elder health and wealth movement. And so we got the idea to do this together, and so I'm really excited to partner with him. I think it's going to be a really a fun and amazing time. So John, so good to see you, and so introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about how and why you became such a health advocate for elders.
Sure, Rico. By the way, thank you so much. This is so going to be so much fun to be able to co-host and help our communities and help
Mhm.
our elders and their families towards better health. So that's what I'm so excited about, and we'll see where this goes. But this is our very first inaugural podcast on it as co-hosts, and this is very exciting. So thank you for that. Yeah, I'll tell you my journey here. My journey has just really been as I started. My son and I started an organic popcorn business, and it's really I ended up learning what you put into your ingredients as far as the popcorn, and then what you put into your body. And this whole journey, it's been about 12 to 13 years where we've had the organic popcorn business. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about how we can upgrade and uplevel our health. And that goes to somebody who is 75 years old and has never felt better in my life. And I just want to share that. So honored to be with you, Rico, because you and I can team up together, synergize together, and help so many people who, really, I think this message is essential.
Yeah, it's no question. Well, tell us about how you came to realize it, and we're going to talk about, and we're going to give some statistics on how most of our elder people aren't doing so well, either physically and they're not doing so, a lot of them are not doing so good financially. So how did it come into your view that this is really a big problem and that you wanted to do something about it?
Yes, it is in my view every single day as my community, especially our elders. And I guess for now, we'll qualify them as 60 plus.
Okay.
But you and I are going to be coming up with some really good terms. And one of them I like is Gold Gen X, because as Gold Gen Xers, we should be thriving as elders. We should be vibrant. We should be full of energy. We've got so much wisdom to offer. But unfortunately, all around us is things that cause us to be victims. Our age group, where everything that we've done up to this point has been manifested to where we are today. And so when you ask that question, how did this come up? I'd say it's probably in 90% plus. And we have numbers. We will have numbers to really pinpoint where we are in this world, but it's really not a good thing and it's going in the wrong direction. That's what you and I are here for, because there's such a big problem with our health, especially as we get older, that we need to really make people aware that it can be done, that we can turn this around, and there can be a shift.
Well, tell us, do you have, was there any specific instance or person you came involved with or something that, I mean, you're probably aware of all these problems, but I mean, just being in your community, was there some incident that made you decide, I need to step up and do something about this, not just say, well, that's the way it is. Like so many people do, they just accept that to be normal. So what really motivated you to just say, it's time, I want to do something and I want to help to change this.
Well, funny you should ask, Rico,
Funny you should ask.
because what motivated me was it came from within me. Maybe it's my spiritual life that is really understanding that to put something into your body that's good for you, as simple as that. Put something that's good for you, full of nutrition, and keep out the toxicity, the toxic things that we have. And unfortunately, for our society, our communities, is the grocery stores, our TV, our sick care system, our food industry. We're surrounded by it. So it's just a natural vibration that has come together and said, what you put in your body is going to make a difference. And I see what people are putting into their bodies. I see what people are doing in their lifestyles that is causing them, just by the results I see. And so when you ask me that question, I can't get as specific as it's all around us. And I'm sure our audience and you and all of us just see it. It's pervasive.
Yeah, it's no question. Well, what I was thinking about, maybe there's some relative of yours or family member that you just saw how their health just declined and it shouldn't be happening because, as you said, you're 75 and you're doing better than you were maybe 20 years ago. I just thought maybe there's some relative or family member or friend that you saw really declining and you thought, God, I'd really like to help them out. Any thought like that?
Yes. I'll go right to my parents. My parents, unfortunately, my mom died at 74 years old with colon cancer. My
Mm,
dad died at 76 with three heart attacks, and the third one killed him. We were all
uh,
ready to go a week
mm,
prior to that. A week after that, we were going to go to a golf school together, and he keeled over with his third heart attack and
uh,
died very suddenly. And I'm 75 years old. I'm sandwiched in between the 74 and the 76. And the lifestyle that my parents had, if we were led to believe, like our doctors, our healthcare system tells us, oh, it's your genetics, nothing you can do about it. Yes, there is something we can do about it, because I'm
mhm,
not living the same way my parents did. And
yeah.
it really um, puts it right into my heart, is that I saw my mom. She was, unconditionally loved my brother and I, and raised us on bacon every morning. Every morning we would wake up to the smell of bacon. Oh, I loved it. It was so good. And I was hooked on bacon so much that when I went to sleep over to other people's houses, my friends' houses, I'd go with my pack of bacon. So that was
That's
my lifestyle. That was my
yeah,
lifestyle.
yeah,
I was hooked
yeah,
on bacon. And then my dad, he loved, and both
yeah,
my parents, they
yeah.
smoked, and
Oh yeah.
dad
Uh,
drank. He loved to gamble. He loved to play golf. He played hard, and he did all that, and it took his toll. I remember he had his first heart attack at 48 years old, and so I was very observant on that, and I said, "Wow, is this what's in store for me?"
yeah,
And I said, "No, it's not."
yeah. Uh, so how long ago did you actually begin to change your lifestyle and live healthier and I know and I want you to tell us also about I know you just told me you just came back from playing golf today. I know you're really a good golfer and that you were playing with some younger really good golfers and how you actually beat them. So that's just a good example of what's possible. So first tell us when you just really begin to create a healthier lifestyle, and then tell us about how your golf is just getting better with your age.
Yes, I created it. It's ongoing. It's been a process, and probably in my 50s, after eating burgers and fries and big, thick, juicy steaks when I had the opportunity, love that food. It was so good. And then I decided, I understood that after I ate it, it tasted great, but I paid a price. I didn't feel so good afterwards. And maybe get indigestion or heartburn. I
Mhm.
wouldn't feel too good. I'd put on a few pounds. And this started to happen. It was cumulative. It started happening when I was in my 40s and 50s. And what I came from a corporate background where we used to really just go out and eat, you know, three quart, have drinks before. It was on the company, which was nice. And then we'd eat anything on the menu, maybe
Mhm.
even things on the menu twice as much. And then we'd have desserts and then we'd have after dinner drinks. That was our lifestyle. And so I realized that I wasn't feeling so good after eating all that food, even though the
Yeah.
social part of it was good, the camaraderie of my co-workers, we would just love the life. And then I saw, by observing and feeling it myself, I saw what was going on here as far as what was good, doing some bodily harm, some it was difficult to see that, but I decided I needed to make a change. So that's what I did, and it's an evolutionary process. But just taking one step at a time has really gotten me to a point where I've understood where that lifestyle was taking me, and so here I am today.
Yeah, that's such a relatable story. Yeah, really, thank you for that. So I want to give a few statistics. I don't want to bore people volume with, but this is important to really understand. Why we decide to do this. What our mission is, and we're going to talk about what our mission statement is, and then and give you the format of what we're going to do in our shows and why it's going to be so important for you. And I think it's really so and helpful. It can be life transforming for you. But I think it's important to so we're not just just talking this up. I want to give some real basic facts here. And so, I did some research on this. It says that, I mean, as we know already, most Americans are becoming old and sick and dying way too young. Our current life expectancy in America is only 76, and it's actually been decreasing in recent years. And I looked up this today. America only ranks 50th in terms of lifespan in the world. I mean, what's wrong with that? And only 68th in the world in terms of health span. The health span is what's really important. That's how, it doesn't. I mean, it's important to your lifespan, but it's really what's most important is your health span. How long can you be healthy as long as you're alive? And so many Americans, even if they live to be 80, but in the previous 20 years or so, they're not very healthy and they're just on the we'll get some stats about that. They're taking medications and surgeries and they're not really very healthy or very productive. So we got to turn that around. And so some more stats here are 50% of elders have at least one chronic ailment and 50% are taking at least four medications. Four medications, 50% of people. And so here's another stat. Most older adults, 94% say that it's more important to maintain the quality of life than it is to live as long as possible. But only 3 in 5 older adults with a healthcare provider report that their providers currently ask about what really matters to them, and they really don't feel that they're getting the help or the care that they really need to help them to be healthier and to live longer. And so that's something again that we really got to be advocates for. I know you really are, John. So again, that's the thing we got to turn that around. And more over 70% of older adults or elders that we're saying 60 above are saying that they fear Alzheimer's and dementia more than any other condition, and that they're not really getting any help with the healthcare system of how they can prevent it. And one last thing is, uh, I have another statistic here is that uh, I over I think it's up to almost 50% of elders that are 60 or above can expect to end up needing some kind of long-term care. Maybe not a nursing home, but some kind of long-term care. And that's just not the way it is. That's what's normal, but that's not what's natural. And so we're gonna show you all the proven ways that you can avoid premature aging and reverse a lot of this premature aging. And so, well, let's talk about. Uh, do you want to read what our mission statement is, John, that we came up with?
Sure, be happy to do that. Yeah, our mission statement. Let me get that here.
Hmm.
Oh, sorry for the delay. You got me a
That's
little
a,
bit.
oh, I surprised you on that one, huh?
Well, yeah,
I thought it'd be good to have you. Do you have it there on
I
your
do.
notes?
I do.
Okay.
I'm ready to go.
All right.
Our mission is to empower elders 60 plus years of age to achieve optimal mental, physical, and financial health, enabling them to live longer, healthier lives while sharing their wisdom to mentor younger generations and help solve today's global challenges.
Yeah, I like that. And we're going to get into this and also, why this is so important and break it down just a little bit more. And so first, I want to add, that science, now tells us that our genetic potential is to live to stay healthy to 125. So that means our lifespan can be 125, but yet, as we mentioned earlier, we know our life expectancy in America is only 76. So that means most people are missing out on 30, 40, 50 years of good living. And we also know from the study of genetics that our genes only play a small role, maybe 10 to 15% on how healthy we're going to be and how long we're going to live. So you can't use that excuse anymore that it's my gene, I got bad genes. You really can't use that excuse. So that brings us to why has this been happening? Why are we having this short, unhealthy lives for most Americans? And the main reason, as John mentioned already too, is because of our unhealthy lifestyles. Poor diet, lack of exercise, poor sleep, too much stress, all these things that we're going to be addressing in all of our episodes. But the good news is, since we know it's mostly lifestyle, right, John? You can change your lifestyle just as you did, right? So we're going to be talking about how to do this, easy ways to do this. Everybody can do it. And we're going to bring on expert guests in all these different categories and topics to bring their expertise and so we're going to address all the subject that's going to make a big difference into your life. And then one more thing, John. Remember, we're also concerned about elders' financial health because there's some stats that say too that almost 50% of elders at retirement age are not financially stable. They're not financially secure. And I saw another statistic that said 40% of elders are depending solely on Social Security. And we all know that not many people can survive these days just on Social Security. And there's actually says 10% of elders are living in poverty. So that's another thing that we really have to turn it around a little bit. So that's something that you're an expert in. And just in a few minutes, we'll have you talk about some ideas and some programs that you've come up with that can help with elders' financial situations as well. Okay, so John, let's talk about why our movement is so important for elders, but it's not only just for their personal benefit, but also for the health and preservation of America. Why don't you talk a little bit about why it's so important, just for their own personal well-being, and then I want to talk about some other concepts of why I like to tell people why it's so important for you to get as healthy and stay and live as long as you can. I want to talk a little bit about that.
Sounds good, Rico. Before I do that, I'd like to just put in a little plug for what you and I are doing here as far as synergizing and energizing and getting together, you and I. I'm so grateful for you and the journey that you've been on and what you've been doing to help your community and our community. And, I'm just really grateful that somebody like yourself has already been down that path to help others and as you help yourself and so for us to get together like this, I think we can really do some good to our audience, the people who want to be healthier, who want to live a thriving, vibrant, healthy life. I think it's something that you and I, as we work together on this, our combined age is over, let's see, 80, what, 82, 75, 157 years old.
We've been around the block a few times, haven't we? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We've been around the block, and I think we have a lot to offer as far as the gold Gen X, and giving some great wisdom about how we can live healthier, happier lives. So I just wanted to say thank you. I'm very grateful for our collaboration here, Rico, that I think we can really make a difference here. And this is our inaugural podcast, but many more to come that's just going to really make a difference in not only our people's lives, but our communities. And we'll see how far this can go.
Yeah, very good. Well said, John. Yeah, thank you for that so much. And so I just want to say, uh, you know, maybe some people might think, well, yeah, it sounds really good, and I know and all that, but I don't know if I can do it, and I don't know, why should I really want to live, get a lot healthier and live longer? And I say, well, of course, the obvious, just like have John has done it, and so he can beat younger people, younger good golfers, and play really good golf and have a lot of fun. I mean, so obviously for your own personal benefit, I mean, everybody wants to be healthy and energetic and have fun in their life and be productive and live longer so you can enjoy the fruits of your labor. I mean, that's obvious. We all want to achieve that. But there's some other reasons, as we mentioned just earlier, at the very start was it's my and John's belief, that we all here with a divine purpose, and I think that divine purpose is to learn how to live together on this planet and create peace on Earth. We're all brothers and sisters on this planet, and just think how the world would be if we were living in peace and cooperating with each other. I mean, we don't have to like everybody, but we can get along and we could share and we could get along and just and not be having wars and killing each other. How ridiculous is that? So it's my belief that as we age, we gain wisdom, we gain knowledge. So we need more people to stay healthier and energetic as they age so they can give back that knowledge and wisdom to help not only create peace on this planet, but to solve all these monumental challenges that we're dealing with. And then also, as we mentioned earlier, so they can be, we don't have enough role models, right, John? We don't have enough role models of older people who can be mentors for younger people. So that's another reason that we need you. We need you to stay healthy and become your best self and live longer and live your divine purpose, and so you can make a contribution. So I think that's a message. It resonates with us, and I hope it resonates with you as well. Anything to add to that, John?
I do have something to add to that, Rico, is that our elder population has taken it upon themselves just because of their present condition. And I'm going to generalize, but I'm going to say it's probably about 90% plus, where it's normal to have aches and pains. It's normal to have one or two, like you mentioned, and we've got the stats to back all this up. But I think the people that are watching this just go into themselves, and for the most part, they're going to find that they have one or two chronic disease or chronic ailments, and that's really been normalized in our society today. And that doesn't have to be normalized, that we're going to have, the medications that you're talking about. We're going to have aches and pains. We're going to have, eventually we're going to go into assisted care and those kind of things. It really does not have to be that way. That does not have to be normalized to the point where people expect that. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to help people understand that, 1 year from now or 5 years from now, that there is a future. There is a future to hang out with their grandkids. There's a future to, hit the golf course and actually, hit a couple of great shots that could even take money from their cohorts or their friends. Those kind of things, that life is going to be fun as you get older. And unfortunately, I'd say for a vast majority say, are you kidding me? I can't even think 2 years or 5 years ahead when I feel this way right now, because it's only
Yeah,
going to be worse.
yeah, yeah. Well said, John. Absolutely right. And just to kind of sum that up, the way I always like to say, people, if you buy into the mainstream narrative that that's just the way it is, we're all going to get old and sick and maybe even end up in a nursing home and maybe die around 80. Well, That's what you're going to create because it's pretty well known these days. Most people accept that, know that our beliefs and our thoughts and our words create our reality. So if that's your belief, that's probably the reality that you're going to create. So that's the very first step is you got to change your belief. And so I'll just go ahead and say that now, John. In each episode, we're going to give you, we're going to discuss one major topic of all these different ways that you can improve your health and your wealth, but we're also going to give you one thing that you can do today, so right away, that can make a big difference to get you going on that path, to take that first step. And so that is for today's. You got to change your mindset. We want you to start believing that you can live longer and live a much healthier, energetic, long life. And you can not only prevent, but you can reverse a lot of this premature aging. So that's got to be your mindset. You got to believe it first, and then you can create it. Anything you want to add to that, John?
Beautifully said, Rico. What I would love to see us do is be as disruptive as we can possibly be,
Mhm.
as resistant to all the things that are going on that are not in our best interest. And what we can do, like you said, it's a mindset. And what we can do is really disrupt the status quo, the way people are thinking, because if we don't, it's just going to be going along the same way we've been going and expect from us. That's why you are what you call fearless aging is
Mhm.
your moniker. And we are going to go ahead fearlessly to help whoever wants that desire to live a healthier, happier life. Is we're going to have to upset the status quo. And it is mindset and it's transformations of limiting beliefs. We're right up against limiting beliefs from people that say, oh, well, it's this, and this. Well, we're going to hit those head on, identify them, and make some transformations here.
Yeah, again, well said. One more thing that I didn't mention before was there's another reason too that we need you to get healthier and live longer and give back your knowledge and wisdom. If you look back in history of all the dominant societies that's been on this planet, one of the main factors in their demise and why they lost their dominance was when the population became really lost their health. They became lazy and unhealthy. And unfortunately, that's where America's at. We give you those stats. That's where we're headed. So we got to turn that around, or else America's just going to lose its dominance and we're going to go downhill. So that's another big reason that we need everybody to get involved. So John, I think we're almost there for this episode. But just tell them a little bit about we're going to let people know how they can begin to get involved and join their movement, and just mention real briefly about your community a fundraising a system that you have, and tell them real briefly about the system that you're involved with, that we're involved with, how people can improve their financial situation as well.
Yes, thank you. The financial situation that is occurring right now is not good for our, as you stated in some of the um, statistics, some of the facts, is our health is also taking down our financial ability, and it's almost turned to the point. Well, it is at the point where it is really generational poverty that's going through our underserved communities, our served communities. It's pervasive across all people is it's costing us a lot of money. The
Mhm.
number is like $4.1 trillion dollars at it all up. Unbelievably large amount of money that we are spending needlessly for a lower quality of life.
Mhm.
So what we've done is we've figured out some ways where we can redistribute the wealth that is held by so few in such large quantities that they've taken money out of circulation. And we will show ways that we can actually buy products, buy really good tasting, delicious, whole plant-based food that is opposite of how people think about the general public think about healthy food is, oh, it doesn't taste very good. Well, with today's technology, with today's advancements, the recipes that we can come up with, the food that we can come up with, and we're going to make it easy and fun to be able to eat really, really healthy and also to have products that are in that way. One of the things that we've got is healthy coffee. That is the second most widely drank beverage in the entire world, and second to water. Coffee is second.
Yeah, water.
Here in
It's
the
also,
United States, love,
I'm just going to say it's also coffee is the second biggest a commodity in the world next to oil. It's
yes,
coffee. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Who wants to drink oil? So, anyways, healthy
Yeah.
coffee is really a. It's symbolic, really. It's symbolic of teaching people that they can eat and drink something that is full of nutrition, but is so delicious. And it can be habit forming because we are all creatures of habit. And when you just do that little shift where you can actually drink something that is healthy for you, it's cumulative. And you will see with this healthy coffee that we have to offer, just two ingredients. It's got premium quality coffee beans and cordyceps mushrooms. And the cordyceps mushrooms, and I won't go over this in detail yet, but as we move along in these episodes, we will show foods that people will just really enjoy and very easy to access, very convenient to eat or drink, and it'll really do some great things over a very quick period of time. Because another thing that we will show is that food is the best medicine. It's potent, it's very strong, and it can be fast acting when you heal all those cells that have been abused and mistreated all these years within each of our bodies to the point where we can actually get a shift there and turn that around and make those cells healthier. And the amazing thing about that, it can be done in a very short time. So, we're not doctors, we're not physicians, but we are experts at helping, especially our elders, turn this around in a very short time with just easy steps.
I just want to add about the coffee. What I tell people, most people are drinking coffee anyway, so why not try to drink some healthy coffee? And just real briefly on the healthy coffee, the cordyceps mushrooms, a powder that's involved in the coffee, mushrooms are adaptogens, and what that means, it helps your body to adapt. First of all, to stress, and it also enhances your immune system. So it's all about the immune system. In order to avoid illness and the disease, you got to have a strong immune system. So this coffee helps you to deal with stress. It helps you to focus better, more clarity, and it also enhances your immune system. And it tastes good and it's convenient. So we can actually put in the show notes in the description of how people can actually try it out. You get a starter pack and just try it out. So we'll put that in there, where you can go and just give it a try and see if you like it. And then just how about just real briefly, John, there's also an opportunity with the coffee that if you like it, you can also, introduce it to other people and friends and make some money about it. So just real briefly about that, that we'll get into that more in detail in further episodes.
Sure, sure. The healthy coffee comes from Canada, and we have exclusive distribution rights to it here in the United States. They look at this company that we represent. It's called Live Pure, and the product is from their Pure Cafe division, and it's black mold coffee. And when you can share that with others throughout the community and say, this is a great coffee that we would love you to not only drink, but also share it with others too. And that's what we're looking for is a movement. This movement is going to help people from a health standpoint because this company, Live Pure, also has 80 plus other products that are the highest quality. And the neat thing about them, these high quality products is that they have a theory. It's actually what it is. It's a way to get healthier, and it's basically cleanse, balance, and build. These products can take you down a very quick way, and nothing is quick unless you put the work in, and then your body will take over. But we can turn things around for people within 30 days with the coffee and some of these products, and it's going to be dynamite. It's so exciting, Rico, that we can be able to share these products and the coffee. By sharing this, there's also a financial gain from that too. And we can have a training program in place, and we can get this thing moving at a very high level.
Yeah, so we'll also put that in the show description how you can contact John. You can find out more about the coffee and the opportunity. And one last thing we forgot to say too about this healthy coffee, the Cafe Pure coffee, is that it's they've taken out all the acid of it as well. And so that's a big problem. A lot of people, the too much acid is kind of hard on your stomach. So it's no acid, and it's got all these the beneficial mushrooms in it as well. Okay, so now the other ways that you can also begin to get involved and join our movement is from a health standpoint, you can go to my main website, agelessliving.lifestyle.com, and take our aging assessment. So we have a free aging assessment there. It's a lot of fun. And I like to tell people if you don't like the results, you can book a free call with me and we'll discuss what health and fitness and longevity challenges you're having. And I'll do my best to give you some proven tips and strategy that'll get you going in the right direction. So we'll put that information also in the description. And then the next thing I just want to say is you can also subscribe now to our Fearless Aging podcast. Again, if you go to agelessliving.lifestyle.com and just slash podcast, it'll take you to a place where you can subscribe. And when you subscribe, you're going to get a free ebook that's entitled Be Bold, Never Be Old. So it really lays it out. A lot of things we've been talking about here, how you can never have to be old. We have to age, but you don't have to become old in the process. So that's a very valuable book. And then also you'll be notified when our next episode is put up, where you can find it on all the major podcast platforms, and you'll be able to find it on our YouTube channels as well. So my last thought, and then we'll have John give his last thought. My last thought is really so the show topic actually for next week is going to be all about your belief system and how we can discover these limiting beliefs that are holding us back, and some really good ways that you can eliminate these limiting beliefs and so you can get going on the right track. So remember, our one tip today was you got to change your mindset. You got to believe that you can stay healthy. And then if you believe it, that means you have a good opportunity to create it. So what's the last thing you want to give our audience today, John?
What I'd like to say, Rico, is that the good thing about all of this is we can be, with that change of mindset, we can be 100% responsible for our own health. We have total control over where we're going with our health. It doesn't, we're not dependent on anybody else
Yeah.
but ourselves. It all comes from within. And if we have that mindset that we are 100% responsible, then change can occur and we can help you. We will have so many exciting tips along the way here. Another thing that I would like to give out, and a lot of these are free gifts just to help others get on this road, is what we call the Divine Self-Care ebook. That is something that we're going to make available to you too. So stay tuned for that because we've got so many exciting things and it's all about helping others.
Well said, John. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so that's a wrap. We're going to end this episode. I like to always end all of our episodes with Einstein's one of his great sayings was knowledge without action is useless. So we encourage you, we're going to give you lots of good wisdom and knowledge and action steps, but you got to step up and take action on it. And the good news is too, right, John, is that you can do it. We know you can do it. So let's just go out and do it. So thanks everybody for being here. And we'll see you on the next episode of the new Fearless Aging podcast for elders, health, and wealth.
Thanks, everybody. Bye bye.